first thing you heard to be a burp. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Do you get it? Like the rotting maw, like my show. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry for the delay, etc. My sweet child. I guess this is what my hair looks like right now. Is Sam's back any better? No, the Pokemon stuff, it's like very bad timing for the Pokemon stuff that he's doing, because it requires that everybody stream. Everybody has to be there because the back end stuff is like done in a particular way. I know I said I was never going to wear the drugs shirt on stream, but I wore it to pick up my child, and I kind of felt like there's no one else to impress. There's no one else to impress anymore. I picked her up in a drugs shirt and forgot that I was wearing it, so I guess I'll just wear it on stream now. But yeah, so Sam's, to catch anybody up, there's always something health-wise going on with Sam. But basically, he has a collarbone that was broken or like severely dislocated or something when he was a snowboard instructor. And he didn't get it looked at, or he got it looked at too late, and it had already started to like fuse or like fix itself in an incorrect way. And so sometimes if he sleeps wrong or if he's sitting weird for a long period of time, sometimes this gets like fucked up for a few days, right? When this gets fucked up, it messes with like his neck and his arm, and then he overcompensates with his other arm and his back. So he had a few days where his neck and his arm really, really hurt, and then it turned into his back starting to hurt, and now everything hurts, right? So not yesterday, but the day before, he took the whole day off because he was like, I'm not fucking with that, right? I'm just gonna rest. So he did. To his credit, he like laid in bed most of the day. And then yesterday we had God Forged, and he got up and did God Forged and was like, I'm feeling okay, but I think I'm going to take some painkillers, and was saying like, I have to do the Pokemon thing because like I can't, I have to stream it in order for the system to work. And like, if I don't do it, then nobody else can do it. So I have to be there for it. So yesterday his back was killing him, and he had a migraine, which he has like consistent migraines too. So he came to bed, and I was like, well, at least like Clark's at preschool all day. Clark's at preschool all day tomorrow, right? So that's great. You know, like you won't have to get up to like watch Clark, and I'll do my stream and everything will be fine. And when I took her this morning, they were like, we like misunderstood. We thought that she was starting next week. Can she start next week? Because we actually didn't plan to have that many kids in the afternoon. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Because in my mind, it's okay, well, my husband's body's messed up. I've got technically an extra stream tonight anyway because I'm doing Hollow Knight. I'll just not stream in the afternoon. But I realized, I could do a short stream though while she's doing quiet time. So there you go. There's the long-winded story of what's going on in our house currently. So yeah, Sam didn't ask me to take the day off for him or anything. I was just like, you do what you gotta do, right? You do what you gotta do. So the problem with workout stuff for Sam is, yes, he does some light workout stuff when he can, but if his head starts to hurt, he can't, because He also gets exertion headaches. My sweet love. So if he works out while he already has a migraine, it'll make the migraine worse. So he can't work out right now. He also like wouldn't be able to work out right now anyway because his back is all messed up. But like, I know it's a lot. It's a lot. And sometimes I feel like I'm glad that overall I'm like very able-bodied, obviously. But like, I sometimes feel bad because I'm like, I don't know what it's like to consistently have like chronic migraines, or to, you know, he's very tall. A lot of tall people wind up with like consistent back problems and stuff. I don't know what a lot of that is like. All I can do is try and be a supportive partner and like fill in the gaps when he starts having problems. So Sam has actually tried yoga before. He did not mesh well with yoga. I'm not laughing because I think that like tall people or like bigger people can't do yoga. I'm laughing because like he felt so uncomfortable doing it, and I'm not sure why that is, but he was like, that's not for me. I don't like that. How do I win at yoga? He needs competitive yoga. Maybe that's what it is. Sam seems too intense and fidgety for yoga. I am very fidgety. I'm a very like I don't know, if you watch me, you know, I'm constantly moving around and adjusting how I'm sitting and all kinds of shit. But I love yoga because it's like balance training stuff, and I think also from doing dance for a long time, it like pings like a dance similar thing for me mentally. But I think that if my mom could get into yoga, I think that she would really love it. She's very, because they're both like mid 70s now, my parents. She's very interested in like, how do I maintain core strength? You know, how do I maintain my balance and all of these things that can help me as I get older. I think that she would really love yoga. Mm-hmm. Yes, I can link this shirt. It's America based, so the shipping's going to be crazy for any of us out of America, but yes. It's on Etsy. The creator's name is Bumlung. But hold on. Bumlung, right? Isn't it? Yeah, Bumlung drugs shirt. Here we go. There you go. This might be a good time to remind people to not do drugs. Don't do drugs. My partner is naming a dinosaur an arc Bumlung. People have said Aikido would be really good for me because I'm small. I'm very interested in getting back into martial arts, as I've said many times. And, you know, the part of me that wants to like be small swole wants to do like boxing or something. But a lot of people have said that there are martial arts types that are definitely geared toward like being advantageous for a smaller person. I did martial arts for a while. I did karate. So did Sam. I think Sam also did karate. I can't remember if he did karate or taekwondo. I can't recall. But I did it until they like moved, if I recall correctly. They moved where the classes were being held. And it was like a rough drive because my mom was taking me after work for her. So it was like, it would be really late for her in order for me to go to karate. So when it came time to like re-sign up for it, I was kind of like, it's fine. I'll like get back into martial arts later. You know, it's fine. I'll like find, I'll do it again in the future. And I just never got back into it, unfortunately. Yeah, exactly. Famous last words. It was my birthday yesterday, my second lockdown birthday. Oh, Rockhead Rumble. Happy late birthday. I hope it was a good day. Muffins? No. Banana bread. This banana bread is not making my mouth sting. So here's what I tried, right? We always have a bunch of bananas in the house because Clark loves them, even though I can't eat them raw and Sam hates them. But we noticed, which I've talked about before, that when we've made banana bread before or like cooked the bananas into something, the effect, the like burning sensation in my mouth is less. And so I was like, well, I think the like enzyme, right, that I'm allergic to in the bananas, I think it's more powerful the riper the banana is. So even though banana bread is always like, use super ripe bananas, I was like, what if I didn't though? What if I used bananas that like weren't, you know, so unripe that they were yucky, but also weren't super ripe? What if I used like that middle point banana? And it worked. I can eat it just fine. So there you go. Know any good memory toughening games? Hit me up if you find one. How long does Clarky alone time last? 2 hours. So she has 2 hours to play by herself or take a nap. She's like me. So nearly every time she's like, yeah, I'll play. And immediately climbs into bed and just passes out for 2 hours. And people keep being like, but she's almost 3. Surely she doesn't need a 2-hour nap. She doesn't. But she likes to sleep that long, so I let her sleep that long. And in fact, she will normally sleep longer if you just leave her alone. But then actual bedtime is rougher. So I took her home, and she was like, "Mommy, I want to feed ducks." And I was like, "Okay, I bet I can find a place to feed ducks." Yeah. She's like, "Can we feed ducks after quiet time?" I was like, maybe, sure. I'll try to find a place where we can feed ducks for after quiet time, sure. So she was laying in bed going, are we going to the park? Are we feeding ducks after quiet time? I was like, shh. Do you feed them? We haven't fed the ducks before. We've gone to look at ducks before. I would have to look up what you can safely feed ducks, I guess. But isn't bread not good? peas are good. Peas are great. There you go. We'll feed them peas. Wonderful. Frozen peas or corn. I have frozen corn. Fruit and seeds are. I have a seed mix. We can bring seed mix and corn. There you go. Great. Oats too. Oats are okay. Like oats that you would get for oatmeal. Okay. I heard they like Starburst candies. This sounds correct. Yeah, no. I won't feed them rice, don't worry. Okay, cool. I'll double check all of those things. Not that I don't trust you, but you know. Trust but verify. Exactly. Always double check information. Many swans in the UK are underweight and starving due to lack of food in British ponds and lakes. Campaigns to stop people feeding bread to ducks and swans could be responsible, as people may have stopped feeding birds entirely rather than use other foods from their homes. What on earth? It's my birthday today. Happy birthday, Simonks. What in tarnation? You can make a really good polenta using rolled oats. I've never heard of trying to make polenta with oats. Interesting. It's normally cornmeal, right, for polenta? Oh, Levine, sorry, you can't post links in chat, but we have a food channel in our Discord. If you're part of the Discord or down to join it and post it in there, that would be amazing. Monks, thank you so much for the gifted subs. You don't got to do that on your birthday. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you were gifted a sub, be sure you take the time to say thank you. Yeah, you know, barf day. Everybody's got one. Fate is tonight, yeah. I don't want a barf day. I'm trying to figure out, so this is currently what the overlay looks like now. I know it's hard to see, but I've got Smash is so big by Occidente. I'll fix that. But put Fate in the corner so that people stop asking what system it is. They'll still ask. And then names for the characters and also for me that people asked for. You can't see the pictures right now because they are activated when the person is in Discord, so you can't see their images. But people really wanted to see fate points, and I'm not sure where to put them. I made the window for like putting aspects and stuff in it smaller. I also made the window for roles smaller so that I would have room to kind of spread out and make the characters a little bit bigger, because I think they're really fun to watch. And if I make them bigger and spread them out more, then I could potentially put their fate points like next to them, if that makes sense. So that's sort of what I'm thinking. So it'll be like Twitter handle, name of character, the actual like activating PNG, and then like a token either on top of them or next to their name maybe. Oh, Princess Bunnyland, happy birthday. When are you running these? Tonight. It is Hollow Knight Day, yeah. This will be episode 2. I'm very excited. So, should be fun. How does fate work? Oh gosh. In simple terms, it's like, it's what's called a settingless system. So it is mechanics that you can put on top of any setting, any place, whatever you'd like to do, which is why it's really easy to be like, okay, we're going to use the fate mechanics inside of the world of Hollow Knight. The way that it does that is characters are established through aspects or like phrases that describe them. So you as the player get to make up phrases that are like, this is who I am, this is what I believe, you know, whatever. And then as you play, you can basically be like, I am able to do this because I am this, right? I have an aspect that says I'm a pill bug. Jesse's character's a pill bug. I have an aspect that says I'm a pill bug, so I roll up into a ball and I roll away, right? And so there's no races, there's no classes, nothing. All of that is established inside of your aspects or your phrases. And it's a lot of like kind of group DMing. So I'm more of a wrangler than anything, but it's fun. Is there a quick recap for those who haven't watched the show? I will be doing a recap at the top of episode 2. Be coping with the cursed voice we gave Jesse. It's a good voice. It's a very good voice, and you guys shouldn't feel bad for using it and voting for it. Fate is less, I don't want to say it's less mechanical, because that's not what it is. It's just a different type of mechanic, but it's not as, there isn't much math at all. It's very role play heavy, you know. I wouldn't say there's less rules, but I would say there's less things to keep track of. Yeah, it's not very rigid. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I don't like the tokens aspect, like the compelling part of it. I like that with a group that knows each other really well. And I think with this group, we might not have enough time for them to really get comfortable with like how to utilize their tokens, because ideally the players are constantly passing their tokens back and forth, right? Ideally, they're never letting me have them. They're always giving them to each other so that they have the power in the game. That's the idea. But it takes a while, I think, to mentally like get into the groove of that. and to also like trust each other, you know? I guess I'll have to go for another 10 sessions or so. Sam sent me a meme. Hold on. He sent me a thing last night and was like, this is going to be you. And it's that, it's that, you know, that, any of you who watch Rick and Morty, you know, the episode where he's like, just a quick adventure, in and out, 25 minutes. And then it smash cuts to them just sobbing in the car because they've been gone for so long and it took so long. He was like, this is going to be you. And it's that with the like portal, and it just says a one shot. and then when with them sobbing in the car, it's them just like, just sobbing like, oh my God, we have enough lore now to write a novel. Having narrative control as a player really throws people off. It does. It totally does. That's why I'm glad that Jesse agreed to play. Although I think it's been so long since we've played. This is why, like, I had trouble in session 1. Spoilers, any of you who haven't watched it. I had trouble in session 1 remembering how consequences worked, remembering how you roll for a bunch of stuff, right? And I've like tried really hard to get all of that straight. I've watched so many videos. I've read a bunch of articles that are like, you know what actually have been the most helpful is FAQs or like forums where people have been like, hey, my players did this and I did this. Was that the right way to do that? And then the way that other players and other DMs have like explained, like broken down, like, oh, in that situation, actually you would want to approach it this way. I've been like, oh, fuck, of course that's how you would want to approach that situation, right? And that sort of a thing has actually really helped me a lot. So I'm not promising that the session tonight, I'm not going to have a few moments where I'm like, but there should be way less. So I told my group that our game would be 10 sessions and it's now been 2.5 years. That's great though. I have no idea where I would even go with this campaign if they wanted to keep playing. I think it's like a pretty cut and dry, like succinct thing. But having so many like back-to-back opportunities to run games, like running the thing for Sam's parents and like also running this and all of that, it's felt a little bit like I'm putting myself through DM boot camp, which is very cool. You could do something else with the same group. I could. I see the parent-teacher conference drug shirt. Marianne, I was saying, like, when I first started the stream, I said, I know that I said I would never wear this on stream, but I picked up my daughter while I was wearing it, and I didn't realize, I forgot that I was wearing it, and picked up my kid from preschool, and now I've just kind of decided I don't care. Yeah, well, I figure like the Hollow Knight universe is a little difficult to work with. If I tried to work with it in the same way, it would be hard because I don't know, because I don't think I could do the same like type of thing twice and have it work, you know? But honestly, I would really love to, over time, occasionally go back to my like really silly one shots that I was doing. So I did 2 one shots with role play. One of them was about a cooking guild. That was my very first DMing experience ever. was everybody was part of a cooking guild and they were all looking for specific ingredients. And then the second one was all of the players were from a family. They were all siblings that were in the fashion guild trying to make the most beautiful cloak. Stuff like that is very silly and fun. I would love to do something like that again once I feel like I've like really grown as a DM, you know? Because even though they were fun, I felt like I held the group back a little bit because I wasn't very experienced. But again, we're always most critical of ourselves and people enjoyed the shows, so. Yeah, called Feast or Famine was the cooking one and Wicked Thimble was the fashion guild one. Are these on YouTube? I think so. I think they're on JP's channel. It me JP. That's true. As long as everybody had fun, that's what's important, right? I was talking with Joe and I was like, I just feel like, because he was like, you did a really good job on the first session of Hollow Knight. And I said, I just felt like I was so unprepared in ways that I didn't realize. And he was like, honestly, that's DMing. There are so many times when we do God Forged and I'm like, I did not prepare for this at all. And you just get better at like figuring out how to roll with it. He was like, but that's just kind of something that you learn from doing it. So. JP plays a lot of Final Fantasy online. Final Fantasy 14, yeah. We're in the same free company. Yeah, I've made a lot of tables for myself. I have tables for like areas and tables for characters now. I've separated all of those. I have cheat sheets for all of the players and I'll probably still hit moments tonight where I'm like, what? Fuck. It matches the vibe of your mushroom band shirt. Oh my god, it does. I want a shirt that is like in this style but says band on it. And then when I make my mushroom cap, I can truly become Morel. Thank you, Wolf Parable. It's planned to be 3 or 4 sessions. So we'll see where we get after session 2, and then I'll be able to say like, oh, there's probably 1 more session or probably 2 more sessions. So tables like I don't know how to describe what a table is. Not a table and chairs. No. Hold on. Actually, I think this could be helpful. No, not helpful. Okay, so you could look at this because for whatever reason I have this up right now. But so This like kind of shows, oh, hold on. It sort of shows like tables that I have for my players so that I can see all of their aspects and things all at the same time. How many fate points they have, what their approaches are, etc. So yeah, I just have all of that in Google Sheets. So it's that kind of a thing. Our approaches basically skills. Yeah. It's everything about fate is about how you describe it, right? So, what is this? Oh, weird. Everything about fate is about how you describe it. So as the player, if you're like, if you come to a door and they say, I open the door, and then I say, okay, can you describe how you open the door? Depending on what they say, I would say, okay, well, it sounds like you're trying to sneak through the door, right? Or it sounds like you're trying to break through the door, or et cetera, et cetera. Depending on that, I would say roll forceful or roll stealthy. Depending on their approach, right? The way in which they are attempting to do something. So the reason that they all have different numbers for those things is because depending on their character, they are going to be better or worse at different types of approaches. Some people are going to be more sneaky than others. Some people are going to be more flashy than others, right? So that's what approaches are inside of Fate. They're directly tied to how you describe your character doing something. Does that make sense? People were also saying like that they wanted, they really wanted to be able to see the character sheets for all of the characters. I might just take screenshots of my table and put them in our TTRPG like stream spoiler channel in the Discord, and that way, and just pin it, and that way if people want to see it, that you can be directed somewhere without me having to like put it into an overlay or something. From watching Nebula Jazz, I get the impression the storytelling is the main focus and roles are secondary. Does that seem the right frame of mind? Absolutely. Your hope is that the players are interested in telling a story with you. But again, like we were just saying, it's hard for players to get into the mindset of having that kind of power. One of the things that I totally forgot about is that you can literally give a fate point to the DM and say, I think this exists now. I think there's a river there. You're like, tight, there's a river there now, right? Like, they have a lot of power in the game to establish things in their favor. The way that somebody was putting it was that it's not that these characters are like the chosen ones necessarily. They are people that exist in the world that are given the opportunity to create like incredible fortuitous situations for themselves to become heroic, right? If that's what they want to do. Well, I'm just going to have them describe their characters and read off this is what we did in Nebula Jazz. I'm just going to have everybody read off their aspects and talk about their stunts and stuff. Yeah, it's kind of like a compel. I can reject the fate point, yeah. You're so lucky there's a river there. Yes, you could say it was fate. So this is the thing that I was trying to figure out, because I couldn't remember from Nebula Jazz, is like, when they come into a scene, do you give them descriptive aspects up front? I couldn't remember how that worked. And so I was literally reading a thing about a river, because a person was like, I described like a place with a river and someone wanted to utilize the river in a role. And I said, well, first you're going to have to establish the river as something, as like a revealed aspect. And the person who was responding was like, that's not actually how it works at all. Like, anything that you describe that is obvious, that is already part of the landscape, unless you're hiding it for a reason, it's already available to the players, right? They know there's a river there. You told them there's a river there. They don't have to discover that, right? They know it, and they can utilize it. It's, if you're specifically hiding something, then that's one thing. And also, you know, if there isn't a river there and they say, I want there to be a river there, then obviously that's like, you know, creating an advantage. But, roll to bring the river into existence. Why are my feet wet? Roll for perception. You're in a river. Yes, exactly. So, yeah. So the idea is like, maybe there's something about the river that they could discover, but they know there's a river there, right? They don't have to like, they don't have to use this finite resource of points or anything in order to reveal the existence of a river. That doesn't make any sense. They know the river's there. Maybe they don't realize that this is a river that people have been wishing in for a long time, and there's vast riches along the bottom of it. Maybe that's a thing they could discover, right? But like, it's not the existence of a river is known. Well, you still have to make a roll. You're right. You don't have to use a fate point, or you don't use a fate point at all. But like, you would still have to roll in order to like create an advantage or discover an aspect. And it would be shitty to be like, you have to roll to discover this river. And then if they rolled bad, be like, well, now the enemy gets to use the river against you because you rolled terribly. You rolled terribly, now you're drowning. Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, now there has to be a river at some point in my campaign. I don't know where it's going to go, but that's fine. Yeah. New aspect, drowning. This is not an aspect of the river. It is a new aspect for you. Like, what? That's not how this game works. So, yeah. Could you give chat fate points and have them throw aspects into a scene? Oh, God. Yikes. You rolled so bad the river vanished. You're now in the desert. I would like to invoke the dead aspect of my enemies. That would actually be so fascinating to do kind of like a goofy one shot where like chat had a certain number of fate points that were determined by channel points. So like if there are really expensive fate points that you could redeem with channel points as a group, maybe it's a community redemption, and like they open up once every half an hour or something. That would be really cool, actually. Polls would take so long. A poll would take forever. So let me, especially T Ironer, since you're here, and I know that you know Fate pretty well, or maybe very well. Since one of the things that I kept getting confused about is like stress and consequences and stuff, let me try to explain it to chat, and you can tell me if I'm getting it correct. Does that sound like a good idea? It's like when you try to teach somebody something and then it helps you learn better. Okay, so as a player, you have a certain number of stress boxes, and you also have approved backseating, exactly. You have a certain number of stress boxes, and you also have consequence boxes. So when you get attacked, as long as you have stress boxes open, you are able to take stress, and you're basically saying that the attack is like a mild annoyance or is like some cuts and bruises, something that's basically not going to affect you whatsoever. You'll get to just move on from it, right? And those are each like a certain amount of stress that you can take in terms of points. And then consequences, if you don't have enough stress available to you, you can then put it into consequences. But consequences are like a small consequence, a moderate consequence, and a severe consequence. A small consequence will go away once the group is able to rest. A moderate consequence clears at the end of the next session. Okay, a mild consequence clears at the end of a scene. So once a scene is done, you would say like you're good. Moderate is at the end of a session, and severe is the end of a scenario or like a story arc, correct? Unless like you know the story arc is going to go on forever and then it's just going to be a pain in the ass. Right, you get to decide if you want to take a consequence or stress. But like it makes more sense to take stress than a consequence. I usually clear moderates at the end of the following session, not the one that they took it in. That makes more sense to me, because I was like, well, I can't imagine like if a mild consequence cleared at the end of a scene, how is it any different from stress then? So like, or like, sorry, no. If a moderate consequence cleared at the end of a session, if the same scene is most of the session, then the two of them are nearly identical, is what I'm trying to say. So it makes more sense to me for mild to clear at some point in the session when it makes sense, when the group is able to rest or whatever. And then for moderate to clear like later than that, because otherwise otherwise they feel very similar, you know? So I might house rule that how you have, yeah, and say like if you have a moderate consequence, it lasts longer. You can also take part of it as stress. Can you? So if you had like, if you tried to defend against an attack, but they overhit you by 6, you could take technically, if you wanted to for some reason, you could take a moderate stress box and a mild consequence. You could split it between things. You could take 2 stress and a moderate consequence. Interesting. If you couldn't take 3 stress and 2 stress, if a player takes 5 damage, they can take 3 stress and a 2 consequence. If you're hit by 6, you could take 3 stress and a 4 consequence. Okay. But the stress boxes, hold on. But the stress boxes are worth more ascending in the same way that consequences are. Right? Yeah, box 1 is worth 1 stress, box 2 is worth 2 stress, and box 3 is worth 3 stress. Okay. Okay. Cool. Excellent. Yeah, consequences suck. You would always want to take stress if possible, correct? As a player, I always wanted to take stress instead of consequences. We're talking about Fate Accelerated. All their stress clears at the end of the scene. So again, how is that any different from a consequence? Just that it's an aspect then, correct? That it's a new aspect that a baddie could ping. Right. Stress can't be used against you, but consequences can. Right. Okay, hold on. Each consequence is a new aspect your opponents invoke. The more you take, the more vulnerable you are. The character that creates it gets 1 free invocation on the consequence. Oh, that's a thing that I didn't realize. They can choose to let one of their allies use that free invocation. So just like the players. Okay. And then they can also always just be like, I pass out. I remove myself from the situation. I have passed out. And then just the negative of that is that whoever was fighting you gets to decide what happens to you, correct? So either you get like taken prisoner or whatever. If you concede, you get more of a say. Right. But if you... Those are different things though, correct? Or eaten. Is there a study session tonight? No, Hollow Knight is tonight. No, they're the same. You can give in or concede. You have to say what you're going to do before your opponent's roll. Oh, I'm thinking of if you're actually like knocked out. Okay. You get a say in what happens to you. Your opponent gets a major concession from you. Talk about what makes sense in your situation. You get a fate point for conceding and a fate point for each consequence you took in the conflict. That's important to remember. I'm just going to leave this up while we're playing. Oh, I don't know if this is weird to say, but I used to watch your YouTube channel. Growing up, I wanted to say thank you. I haven't seen you in years. Looking at Twitch made me happy to see a familiar friend. It makes me happy to know you're still online. Oh, thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I stream almost every day. So if you ever want to swing by again, that would be tight. The one that Rhett and Link put on, Ben? Is that what you're thinking of? Where I had to like eat wasabi and then eat like 10 chicken nuggets and then dunk milk on my head and like all of that. Dude, once salons are open, I'm so excited to do something with this. I forgot that was a thing. I'll never forget. I'll never forget being surrounded by a bunch of YouTubers who were all screaming through every single challenge. And I was like, what's everybody making such a big deal about? Just shoving chicken nuggets in my mouth. Like, I have to blow my nose. One sec. Whoa. That was huge. That was a huge booger. Oh, the PewDiePie video. That was when I got the name Dooger. PewDiePie gave me that name. Allergies suck. Oh, I know the sign for allergies now. Allergies. I started my course. I started my BSL course. So I'm learning a couple of things. But I've noticed that like some of the other people who have taken the course, because they can like do like put comments below each of the like lesson videos. And the one that I was just watching this morning was like greetings. And a bunch of people in the comments were like, wait, but where I'm at, the signs for like day and night are totally different. Like, are they all regional? And if so, like, what region is this? And so now I'm like, oh my God. So I don't know. But the major thing that I've done so far is alphabet and like practicing names. So, let's see if I can remember. I just did them this morning, but Brooke, my name. Clark, my kid's name. Clark. Yeah. Sam. Yeah. I missed the name. I could have stolen it. Oh, B R O O K or K E. B R O O K E. Brooke. Sam has his name. It's so easy. Sam. SAM. Oh, Akaru. Yeah, I hope, I'm really excited. This course, like at the end, they're like, you'll get a certificate. You'll like have a thing that says like, some sign language, which is awesome. I watched a video last night that was like emergency services words. I don't remember a lot of them, but that's how I learned allergies and doctor. You put like a plus sign on your arm. Doctor. Allergies. I'm trying to remember what else was. So AEIOU is interesting because it's all AEIOU. It's like the vowels, right? And then the rest are like two hand gestures. So L, remembering which one is which is a big hurdle for me. LEIGH. So that's my middle name and my mother-in-law's name. Lee. And Darren, my father-in-law. Steve, my dad. Susan, my mom. What are some of the other names I was practicing this morning? Oh, my like sister and my sister-in-laws and stuff. Because this is Y. Q is one that for some reason is like really weird to me when I was like rewatching the alphabet practice stuff. Q, I always think I'm using the wrong fingers. Like the wrong hands. I always think it's this, but it's not. I don't think. Oh God, it's fine. If it's wrong, I'll get corrected by somebody. But yeah, Molly. Oops. Molly. Nancy. Chrissy, my sister, or God, I'll figure it out. Kristen. Yeah. So that's where I'm at in the actual like course. But I'm trying to remember some of the greetings that was in the video I watched this morning. Like hello, name. So I'm trying to remember. It's like, what's your name? I think. Name. I tried an online self-guided course. I ended up giving up because I got so confused about which hand I was supposed to be using. Yeah. Some of it, at least so far, I've been like, which hand makes the most sense? If in sign language they keep saying like you will have a dominant hand in sign language, what feels the most comfortable to be doing to me if I'm using one hand predominantly? This is coffee. We learned that one forever ago. Coffee. Oh, I think this is again. So one of them that they did was like, see you again. Which they repeated later for like, if you misunderstand something. They tried to teach you like, I'm learning BSL. So I think it was like, I'm BSL learning, right? And then you can, I can't remember how to do it, but you can say like, I didn't catch that. Can you do it again? Right? So it's just stuff like that. I need to watch the videos like 3 or 4 times to get stuff, but yeah, I'm at beginning stages. So trying to hand sign with the alphabet, like names that I know to like practice. Oh, sign. I think sign language. So like I'm sign language learning or BSL learning. I've noticed there's 2 different signs that show up for learning. It's either like one right after, like you're picking things up and putting them in your brain, or it's like both hands at the same time, which is probably a lot quicker. So I'm BSL learning. I've been meaning to learn BSL forever. Let's do it. Shove the whole book in your brain. I don't actually know. I can't speak sign language. I'm not sure, but from watching the teacher during the like introduction thing, and trying to like notice stuff, because it was just like kind of an info dump about like what BSL is and like, is it similar across the British Isles? Turns out no, there's actually 2 different sign languages in Ireland alone. So, yeah, it was just like a bunch of informational stuff, but it looks like sometimes it's basically you do the positive version of the sentence and then go like no at the end. So I don't know if you could be like BSL learning. Nope. Like I'm not learning it, or I don't know it. I'm not sure what like knowledge is really. So originally the one that was pointed out to us on the like actual BSL website during COVID, they're offering BSL lessons, like basically like pay what you like for it, with like suggested amounts of pricing depending on who you are in your situation, but it's pay what you want. They're just hoping that since people have time during COVID, maybe they would want to learn sign language, right? I tried to use 3 different payment options to be able to do that, and it wouldn't let me pay with any of them. So I was like, okay, I will try to, that's awesome that that's an option. But for some reason it's not working for me, so I'll try to search for something else. So I am using johnacademy.co.uk. They have British Sign Language level 1 and 2. So that's what I'm currently using. Me and my friend learned some basic bits because she was losing her hearing. So we learned coffee, breakfast, and cigarette. Those were the most important things for her. Is that one free? No, that one isn't free. But they're doing like a weird... There's a weird thing where it's like everything on here is like 90% off. So it was like normally this course is $300, but right now it's $20. I was like, okay. I just started it. So someone asked how many hours per day I commit to it. Since I literally just started, I'll say the average of my one day of practice of like actually doing the course is about an hour. But yeah, what convenient pricing, right? Yeah, 14 pounds instead of 389. Yeah, what the fuck? It's so weird. It's like, okay, great. Sure, sounds good. Yeah, that was another thing that they explained in the like introduction video is like, yes, some of the signs that you learn through this course aren't going to be the same as maybe the area that you're in, because sign language, like any other language, is going to be different from place to place. And even like there's going to be different slang. There's going to be different signs for things, right? There isn't a standardized written language, so things change in different areas with different cultures and different groups of people. And that's just how it is. But if you want to learn, a form of BSL that can get you started and still teach you a lot, and then you can learn what works best in your community, then here you go. The drugs shirt. Yeah, I'm wearing the drugs shirt. Thank you, gentle godfather. I appreciate it. Happy 2 months. I love mad Monday afternoon Duker. I keep thinking, I was talking with Sam, I was like, I keep wondering if I should, because, MangaPod, we want MangaPod to come back in April. So then Sundays would have MangaPod again, and then Godforged in the afternoon. I was like, I'm trying to decide if I want to do another thing on Saturdays now that my Saturday evenings are free, or if I should leave those open to try and like do more family sort of stuff, like this D&D game with his parents and things like that. And Sam was like, do what you think will make you happy, baby. Am I allowed to ask why you're learning it? Sign language? I've always had an interest in sign language, and I've never taken the time to learn. I got to a point where I was kind of like, it doesn't help anybody for me to consistently say like, man, I would really love to learn sign language, and then just not learn it. It increases, my usefulness and accessibility. If I were to meet somebody that I could interact with and speak with, then that would be super beneficial. And it would be cool to teach it to Clark also, and for Clark and I to learn it together. So That's why Dodger doesn't stream on Wednesday afternoons, because WAD is a terrible acronym. But I mean, SMD was always a terrible acronym as well. For sure. Yeah. I appreciate it, Fence. I work at Comic-Con. A deaf person visited my stall and I felt bad that I couldn't communicate. Another customer turned around and translated for me and it was amazing. And ever since then, I've wanted to learn for myself. Yeah, why not? Right? Bye, Sean. Have a good day. Oh. Oh my God, my mom was super into Switched at Birth. Was that a good show? MDMA, morning Duger, morning all. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. I was telling Aaron that so we never watched Disney movies in our house. I can't remember if I've already told this story, but it's fine. We never watched Disney movies in our house. Clark was given some Frozen pajamas from a family member, and Sam was like, you know, we can watch Frozen. Have you seen Frozen? And Clark was like, no. So we turned on Frozen and I literally cried through the whole thing. I had not seen it since I watched it in theaters with my mom. I hadn't watched it all the way through since then. And, you know, it's memed so hard at this point. But, like, I started watching and I was like, God damn it, this movie is so sad. Like, I cried through the whole thing. I cried through the whole thing. And I messaged Sam, like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I literally took a pregnancy test because I was like, it's like, what is happening to me? I'm not pregnant, turns out. But I was just like, this is why literally the entire movie I was crying. And I was talking to Erin and I was like, I just don't know what to do with myself. Like, what was that all about? And she was like, hormones are wild, dude. Like, sometimes they just get out of hand. And sometimes like deep down, you know, right? Sometimes deep down when like you're watching something and you're just crying through the whole thing, and you're like, I don't know why I'm crying. Like, you know that it's because you've been having a rough time and there's something cathartic about this thing you're watching and it's just making you cry and you're just crying, right? It's like only kind of about what you're watching and it's more about other shit, right? This was a situation where I was like, I literally don't know why I'm crying right now. It's just sad. They just want to be good sisters to each other, and it's sad. So there you go. That was me the other day, sobbing through Frozen while my kid was like, I don't know what's going on. It is sad. It's a fucking sad movie, guys. never watched the new Dumbo remake. I've heard it's yeah. I've never seen Frozen 2. I'm not a huge Disney person. Um I have fond memories of specific movies. But I'm never like in a huge hurry to like watch new Disney stuff or anything like that. So Frozen 2 is so good, is it? My sister-in-law said the same thing. Oh yeah, Inside Out made me cry. I made the huge mistake of watching Inside Out on a plane. I was like, well, um, a lot of these movies I've already seen, so I guess I'll just watch Inside Out. And I cried. I cried like the entire time I was watching Inside Out while I was on a plane next to a stranger. So there's that. Oh, Falling Slowly is a great song. It used to pop on the radio all the time while I was in college. It would pop on the radio and I would be like, well, now I can't get out of the car. I would literally get to the theater to start my job and I would just sit there and listen to the rest of the song because I was like, it's just such a good song. This might sound stupid, but sometimes I put on a movie I know I'll cry to if I have pent up stuff. That's not stupid. That's legit. It's the weirdest movie that's made you cry. I don't recall like exact things, but I've said before that when I was pregnant, I kept doing a thing where like if I found if I had like an extreme of any feeling, it would devolve into sobbing. And it was really uncomfortable because you'd have situations where you're watching something really funny or somebody makes you laugh really hard and you start legitimately like sobbing, like not happy crying, like sobbing. That happens to me a lot. So there were definitely a couple of things. I don't remember exactly what they were, but there were a couple of things that I would watch and they would make me laugh. And then I would like depression sob because I found it so funny. It's so weird. Early on in my transition, I realized how the hormonal shift was going when I was sobbing over Toy Story 4. Hormones. What is that all about? Sam really loves Tangled. How did Sam react to me sobbing after laughing? I mean, it got to a point where he would realize when it was happening because I would start laughing and then I would go, oh no, and he'd be like, oh Jesus. Because that's literally what I would do is I would laugh and then once I felt it like starting to shift into something else, I would go, oh no. And he'd be like, okay. And I would like run to the bathroom because I knew I was going to start like crying. He'd be like, come here. I'll give you a hug. Yeah, I can never... When I know a lot of people who, when they were pregnant or like having some sort of like a hormonal like high or low, would get like angry really easily. I've never experienced that. When I'm PMSing, I get really irritable. Like things irritate me really easily. But even then, like I don't get angry about anything. Everything's just annoying, right? But like when I was pregnant, it was like it was like 0 to 60 in terms of if I was having a great day and then suddenly was like really sad. I hope when I'm pregnant, I'll be able to differentiate what's a pregnancy issue and what's a real emotion, if that makes sense. How do you tell them apart? I get that. Like, if you're someone who has periods, like, you probably can feel at this point, you kind of know, like, okay, everything everyone says to me is annoying the shit out of me. That's probably hormones. That's probably hormones. But, like, it doesn't mean that your reaction to them, to things that are happening, is invalidated. It means that you're having, like, a more extreme reaction to things than you normally would, right? So it's like, even when you're pregnant, the ways in which you're reacting, it's not that they aren't real. It's just that they might be more extreme. And so for me, it was easy to, like, not easy, but I kind of tackled them almost in the same way, where I would be like, okay, I'm feeling a lot right now, and it's probably exacerbated by all of this. So I'll do things like write down everything that I'm thinking, do a brain dump, right? I'll make lists of stuff that might be stressing me out. I'll, say out loud something stupid that I'm thinking to myself that doesn't feel stupid while it's in here, but the second I say it out loud, I'm like, oh my God, why does that make me feel this way? So I tackled them in the same way. Stuff like laughing so hard that you start sobbing is it's like, that's just, to me at least, that's just a weird, like, brain chemistry thing of, like, you're experiencing an extreme emotion and your body's getting confused about shit, right? But yeah, it's a glitch, sure. But I understand what you mean. And I think one of the things that's let me be more patient with myself with even something as minor as, like, PMS is reminding myself, like, I'm annoyed not for no reason. Right? Like, my kid did a thing that on a normal day I would brush off really easily. It doesn't mean that it isn't an annoying thing. It is an annoying thing. It's just I'm having a harder time brushing it off. So it is what it is, right? Every emotion has a lower threshold. Yeah. Yeah, which I think I understand what you mean. Bodies are wild. Just as a side note. I usually cue into it a week after. You're going to be my motivation to clean the kitchen this morning. I believe in you. Fingers crossed the little one allows it. How old is the little one? Can you give them a fake job? That's what I try to do with Clark. I'll be like, all right, we're cleaning. You sweep. Here you go. Our our broom has one of those handles that you can rotate and make it smaller or bigger. So I'll put it to Clarky size and I'll make it as small as it can be. And I'll be like, you sweep, which literally means she'll just like push dirt around a little bit, and I'll do dishes, and we'll blink and we'll be done. It'll be crazy. She's 6 months old. That won't work. Yeah, that won't work. How old is Clark? Almost 3. Exactly a month. Exactly a month from now, she'll be 3. Baby. My little love. She's wonderful. A little gift. There was a tag, like a TikTok tag going around that was like asking parents, now that you are a parent, if you were given the option to like not do it again, would you still choose to be a parent? And somebody, which is like a minefield, right? And somebody responded being like, okay, honestly, for me, like if I didn't know my kids, right? If I had no idea who my kids were going to be, but I knew how difficult it is to be a parent, no way. She was like, but if I knew who my kids were going to be and how awesome they are and how much they were going to enrich my life, I would do it every single time. Even though parenting fucking sucks, I would absolutely do it because my kids are amazing. And like, I think a lot of people can vibe with that, right? Like, God, parenting is so rough sometimes, but my kid is so great, and I can't imagine life without her. And honestly, most days I really enjoy being a parent. I really like parenting. Most days are so fun. And then you have those days where you're just like, God. Oh my God, this is so rough today. But hey, we're all in it together, aren't we? We're all just trying to be the best parents we can be. Tight. That's cute. That's a good look. Has Clark reached the question everything phase yet? Yeah. She's really into bodies right now. I talked to Chad about this a little bit. She's really into bodies right now, so she asks questions like, how does food turn into poop? And she's really into her bones. So play games where we find all of the spots where the skin is really thin and we knock on our bones. And she asked why. Oh my God. She was like, my brain is here. And I was like, yeah, it is. And she was like, why is it next to my eyes? And I was like, well, your eyes take in a bunch of information about what you're seeing, and your brain is what tells you what those things are. So they have to be next to each other, right? Because your brain is what tells you everything. So if your eyes are going to be looking around, then the brain has to be nearby to tell your eyeballs what things are. And she was like, you got to cut down on the latency. Yeah. Like, they got to be close to each other. Otherwise, how are you going to figure stuff out quickly? I always try to answer as honestly as I can. And sometimes I'm able to simplify it enough that it works. And other times I can tell she's like, I'll try this again later. Yes, actually, we love Storybots. Storybots is a great show. Sam, I guess, had like Storybots had been on, and Sam was not watching it at all, right? Like they were coloring or doing something, and he looked over and he was like, "Honey?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Snoop Dogg is on Storybots." I was like, "Yeah, every episode has a celebrity guest." He was like, "What?" He had definitely been in the room for like so many episodes in the past and never noticed, and was just like, "Snoop Dogg is on Storybots." Yeah. Storybots is very cute. The concept is that they're like little robots and they're tasked with answering the questions of kids. So kids will send in videos and be like, "I want to know about this." And then different like groups of robots are tasked with finding out that information and reporting back to the kid. And it's always explained in a very cute way, like a more accessible way for a kid, you know? Yeah, Snoop was a CPU. They don't play themselves. I think that episode, the question was something like, it was like, when I go on the internet, how do pictures on the internet get to me, or something like that. And so Snoop was a CPU, and the Storybots had to go on an adventure to find out how a picture of a cat is then digitized and like delivered to a person who's looking for a picture of a cat. Yeah, it's very cute. It's a very cute show. We've also like really gotten into Bluey. We had watched like sporadic episodes, and then I think one of you guys said that all of it is on Disney Plus. And we have Disney Plus now. And so, yeah, so I was like, oh, maybe we should try out Bluey. Fuck, that show is so cute. It's really, really good. The way that the parents are portrayed is so nice. Like they're, number one, you believe that they love each other. that they're like really loving partners to one another. And number two, the parents are like very involved in all of the like playtime and all of the games, which is, I think, generally more true to life, right? Like you, for a while at least, are your kid's primary playmate. So it's very cute. Sam was watching it and he was like, "This is unreasonable." It's like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "No one can live up to these parents. They both come up with creative, cool games all the time. Like, what the fuck?" And a lot of episodes are actually, I would say, aimed more at the parents. Like they're still enjoyable for the kid, but there's like an episode early on where they're picking up takeaway from like a Chinese restaurant or something. And they forget part of the order, and so the kids, it's two daughters and their dad, so Bluey and her little sister Bingo are the two kids, and then the dad. And so the dad's like, "We just gotta wait." And Bluey really, really wants to play in like tap water. There's like a tap, right? And Bluey wants so badly to play in the tap water. And the dad is like, "No, don't like don't play with that," right? And it just like there's just increasingly more and more mayhem as the kids get more and more bored, right? And the dad is like getting frustrated, and he's just like trying so hard to like wrangle these two kids that are like, you know, just playing games and like trying to occupy themselves, and they're getting hungry, and one of them has to pee, and it's just, there's just more and more and more, right? And then the person who works at the place comes out and is like, "I'm so sorry it's taking so long, but here's some fortune cookies." And they open it, and the fortune is basically like, remember, you only get to be a kid once. And the dad is like, you know what? Let's play in the fucking tap water, right? It's like so cute. It was such a cute episode. And I was like, oh. They're all dogs. It's an animated show about dogs. Every person in the show is a dog. But it's so cute. And there was another episode where the kids there's like a similar kind of episode in Peppa, but without the same message, where the kids get to take home like this special puppet doll, and it's implied that like different kids get to take them home, and then you take pictures with the doll being like, this is what we did, and then you put it in a book, and the whole class has a book, right? I'm assuming, since this has shown up in a couple of different shows, that this is a thing that happens in like preschools or whatever sometimes. But there's an episode where they take the doll home, and the parents are like, do you want to like do stuff? And they're like, yeah, we're doing stuff. And they're supposed to be taking pictures, right? So the mom keeps taking pictures, like, okay, I guess I'll put all these pictures in the book. And they realize when they look in the book that all of the pictures are of them watching cartoons with the doll. And I think it's Bingo, the younger one, is like, oh, I guess like the doll is, or, you know, I can't remember the name of the doll, but it's like, oh, I guess they can only do whatever we're doing. So we have to do interesting things. Otherwise they don't get to do interesting things. And I guess as a parent watching that, I was like, this feels like this is an episode like saying something to parents, right? It's like, if you want your kids to have enriched experiences, they can't do that on their own. You know, like you have to even occasionally like put forward the effort to like give them experiences. But yeah, it's a very cute show. I don't know who enjoys Bluey the most, my daughter or me. Dude, I love it. It's so cute. Bluey and Pablo, I think, are probably my favorite kids shows currently. But I've loved Pablo for a long time. Pablo's great. Bit of a difficult message with the last year. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, kids shows. Some of them are great. Some of them are nonsense. I loved the vibe of Arthur growing up. All I know of Arthur are memes. I never watched Arthur growing up, so it's just a meme to me. Do you ever get whiplash switching between kids shows and adult ones? No, because there's a visual cue, right? If I'm watching an adult show, Clark isn't there. So there isn't like a weird feeling of like, what's going on? Because if Clark's in the room, there would be a kid show on. I'm not saying that there's always a TV on when Clark's in the room, but you know what I mean. All right, we're coming up on 3:30, so I should go make sure that my kiddo's awake. But let's read off everything in our activity feed. And also, are my channel points open? No, they're not. So this will be a fun surprise for me because I didn't have this open the whole stream. Wonderful. Here we go. Drowsy, thank you for the 4 years.
Happy anniversary. I appreciate all the support. Avi, thank you for the gifted sub. Based God Gumi for the 30. Midwinter Lily for the 31. Missy for the 14. Obey for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. The Verezia for the 49. My new name for Twitch. Thank you for the 5 years. Happy anniversary. I hope you're having an amazing day. Amsand, thank you for the 73. Best Ratchet for the 16. Male Malay for the 40. Oblivious to Me for the 31. Leia Egg for the 22. Crockett's Doda for the 23. Saniela for the 7. Felican for the 44. Zilla Poop Fart for the 19. Maggie Pow Pow for the 25. Cymonks, thank you again for the gifted subs. Epidemic for the 38. Ryan Alfie Page for the 27. Crabat for the 20. Canadian Earth for the 1 year. Happy anniversary. Thank you so much. Psycho Wolfgirl for the 56, Ekarusi for the 57, Arkham Avalon for the 3, Zero Kai for the 9, Happy Twitch Baby, Shiren for the 65, Leonidas for Life for the 2, Suspicious Moogle for the 39, Beardlore for subscribing, welcome to the Cat Gang, Undisputed Champion for the 42, Wizard Styles for the 42 as well, Gentle Godfather for the 2, MLK for the 4, Frankenpie for the 13, Icy Shadow Dragon for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Korgster for the 27. Space Pirate Pluto for the 10. Dante Dad for the 5. Mithril Spade for the 2. Pretty Patrick Lunchtime. Thank you very much for the gifted subs just now. If you were gifted a sub by Patrick or anybody else, please double check who it was and say thank you. It's very generous. And Mr. Owl, thank you for the 10. Thank you, guys. Akabara did a Valentine. This Valentine is for everyone here who has had a loved one. Oh, these are from the other day. I already read these ones, I think. I already read these ones. But still, I'll still finish it off. Anyone who has had a loved one that had to deal with cancer in any of its forms, keep hoping for a day when no one else has to deal with those struggles involved with that terrible disease. Fuck cancer. Agreed. Still echoed. Stachy said, all the best to Sam. I'm sorry to hear his back is causing him pain. I hope he gets better soon. And we have a raid request. Oh, why isn't Twitch loading? Try again. There we go. Okay. Arcelbo has recommended 2D Kiri. So go say hi. I'm going to go be a mom. Tonight, 9 p.m. BST. I said GMT in my tweet because I forgot that we swapped to a different thing. 9 p.m. BST is going to be Hollow Knight Session 2. So if you're wanting to watch that, please do. Otherwise, take care, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.